Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you until about 5 o'clock. I hope everybody's having a good day. Let me start off by saying I apologize for yesterday. I intended on being here, and then things just kept coming up. I knew I was going to be late. I had to go and handle some things. That's all I'm willing to say right now. But I had to go and handle some things, and then that took much longer than I thought. But then I still thought that I was going to make it, and then some other things came up, and I had to handle those. And it got to a point where I realized I wouldn't be able to make it. So I do apologize for that. But I hope everybody's day is going well. My day is going all right. My day is going all right. I need to get out in that yard and do some more yard work. Oh, I almost suffered from a heat stroke early in the day yesterday. See, I call myself being clever. Y'all know, what was it? Yesterday was Wednesday. So Tuesday, I told you I was going to go out and, do some things in the yard when I got off the air. But I ended up having to do some other things in the house, which was perfectly all right with me. So I said, I'm gonna be slick. I'm gonna be clever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up early in the morning and go outside before it get too hot. And I did. When I went out there, it was around 9 o'clock in the morning, because I didn't want to be out there cutting my grass at like 8 o'clock in the morning, waking people up. So it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was like 80 degrees or 85 degrees or something like that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I can handle that. And then I'll tell you the rest of the story. After I say hello to everybody, hello to everyone, let's get them in. We got Anthony Prosser first out the gate. Good afternoon, Anthony. Good afternoon. Got Robert Willis. Good afternoon, Robert. Of course, he's over there on YouTube. Erica Hummins, also over there on YouTube, representing Reading. Good afternoon, Erica. Maria Smith, also on YouTube, representing North College Hill. Good afternoon, Maria. And Nick Brown, rounding out the top 5, and also over there on YouTube. Good afternoon, representing beautiful Blue Ash. Good afternoon to you guys. I appreciate you, for checking us out. I appreciate us. Like, it's just me. It's just me. I say us like I got a whole team here. Hey, I see you over there. It's really just me. I'm pointing at the wall. There's nobody there. I'm acting. That's what I'm doing. I'm acting. But I say us. It's not a whole team. Us is us. We are us. So thank you guys for checking us out. Those top 5. Well, I appreciate everybody checking us out, but it's something about being in the top 5. I don't know. Tria Gaines. She's second on YouTube. Good afternoon, Tria. Good afternoon. Got Brenda in the house representing Fairfield. Good afternoon, Brenda. Mike out there in Woodlawn. Good afternoon, Mike. I appreciate you. Steban Speed, representing Queensgate. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tria had to come back and let us know she's still classy. She's still classy. She's representing Avondale, by the way. Chelsea, we got to go to Cedar Point. We got to go to Cedar Point. You got to come here, and we got to get up there to Cedar Point. I know y'all heard about this before. I rode Steel Vengeance, and it's the best roller coaster in Ohio. I rode Maverick. I think it's the second best roller coaster in Ohio. I'm putting Diamondback at number 3. So we got to go up there, and we got to ride it. I also want to ride Iron Gwazi, because they tell me Iron Gwazi is even better than Steel Vengeance. But that's a whole road trip that we'll have to figure out later. But Chelsea in the house. Hey, what's up to my niece, Chelsea? Let's see. Terry Anderson representing downtown. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Got Lewis Talbert in the house. Good afternoon. David Herring. Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, Daryl Carpenter. Good afternoon. He's representing Forest Park, where the real G's reside. I don't even know what that means. But good afternoon, Daryl. Let's see. And David, by the way, is representing Butler County. All right. Jacqueline Carter in the house representing Evanston. Good afternoon, Jacqueline. Good afternoon. David says always on time. I love y'all too. I love y'all too. Let's see. That son cooked me. We gonna get to it. Dwayne Larkin representing Mount Airy. Good afternoon. Let's see. Jerica Van in the house. Good afternoon. Jerica, you notice I keep ignoring that question that you keep asking me? That's intentional. You will never get an answer to that question. So just stop asking. Some things are what they are, and just let it be. Regina Denson Griffin representing Madisonville. Good afternoon. Got Sierra Brooks in the house representing Paris. Good afternoon. You speak French? Do you speak French? Just curious. Are you out there, being as the movies portray it, a typical American, expecting everybody else to speak English? Or do you speak French? Or you got like some of them Ray-Bans that instantly translate for you? I'm interested in how those work, if anyone has ever used any, because that seems pretty cool. I do not owe you 3 hours. No, I don't. Let's see. Daryl says he'd get up at 7 a.m. and cut his grass. I'm trying to be mindful, but I'll get into the rest of that story. You used to have a newsroom green screen and a lady producer in the booth. That wasn't a green screen. I was actually doing my show from a newsroom. But I moved into the house and I'm getting some staff, but I don't have them yet. So it's just me for right now. Let's see. Samuel Campbell Jr. representing Sycamore Township. Good afternoon. Little baby. Little baby is out enjoying the summer with her daddy. And I get to snatch her up every once in a while because, of course, she went to Cedar Point with us. But I get to snatch her up every once in a while through the summer. But no, she is spending the summer with her daddy. Let's see. I did not pass out cutting the grass. CK, a.k.a. Lewis Johnson, good afternoon. Pamela Kinney in the house representing North Avondale. Good afternoon. Rilo says better than Orion. Well, I think Diamondback is better than Orion. And Steel Vengeance is better than both of them. Yes. Let me see. Diane Huddleston, Angel out there in Coleraine Township. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon. Butler Brown in Cartersville, Georgia. Good afternoon, Butler Brown. I feel like I ain't seen you in a minute. So yeah, good afternoon. Yeah. Chelsea says, we got a plan for after July when my semester is over. I have plenty of free time. Yeah, come on up here. We can spend a couple days up there. Get a hotel room, drive up and just do 2 days. To ride everything, hopefully everything will be open in those 2 days. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Yo, Underwood, good afternoon. We say locked up in the basement. All right. Tria got him in the basement this time. Theawana, I ain't seen Theawana in a minute. Good afternoon, Theawana. Hope everything is going good with you. Brian Taylor. He's painting and listening in Glendale. All right. I appreciate that. Kim Moore Eberhardt. I always want to flip them. Representing Bond Hill. Good afternoon. Yes, I am. Yes. Jason Dockery out there in Fairfield. Good afternoon. Samuel says Ironheart is so dope. Maybe we'll talk about that. If you remind me, I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Anthony Lewis. Jason says that's too early to cut at 7 a.m. I agree. My neighbors deserve to be able to sleep. Let's see. Fix my collar. What's wrong? I do see a little something there. A little. Y'all know how I be stretching it. And then when you try to pull it back normal, some of that is shadow. But some of it, just when you stretch it, it is what it is. It do what it do. But thank you, twin. Is that your oil change shirt? It's just a gray t-shirt. I would wear it to do an oil change, but I'm not doing one today. Actually, speaking of that, I might do one tomorrow. Thank you, twin. See, y'all be trying to take shots, but y'all be helping me. Mrs. Livingston's car is due for an oil change, and I meant to change it the other day, but I got busy. That's all a part of that story I'm working myself up to. How much is Cedar Point these days? I got a season pass, so with the all parks add-on, so it's nothing for me. It's nothing. Ken representing Cincinnati, living in Virginia. All right. Good afternoon, Ken. Ed says Vortex was best. No. That's not accurate. At no point was Vortex best. Yo Underwood says it's amazing that I get these shirts over my head. Do you not know how cotton works? Do you not know how clothing and material works? I don't even understand that as a shot. Like I don't even understand the intent of the shot. Like I think you saying that my head is big, but even just looking at this is a little wider than my head. So it really wouldn't be that big of a problem getting in. But even if it wasn't, like you really don't know that a lot of material stretches and then comes almost back to the same shape that it was. You really don't know that. I hear stuff and I'm like, well, maybe he just wasn't thinking. He thought it was clever. Okay. Let's see. Why are you paying twin any mind? Why not? He helped me out. The oil change, I do have to do an oil change. So that was helpful. The oil change is going to be between 3 and 5 p.m. Oh, you never know. Let me see. That shirt got to be about 5 years old. Why? Because it's gray? It's a gray shirt. This was not, hold on. Maybe you think at one point this was a white t-shirt. You don't know the way that clothing or dye works on materials, right? So apparently he thinks at one point this was a white t-shirt and it's just really dirty. But, t-shirts come in a lot of different colors now, twin. Like you can get them in, actually white ain't even the natural cotton color. It's a off-white, almost not quite tan or beige, but it's a natural cotton that haven't been dyed at all, has a particular color. When you see a white t-shirt, that's been, I'm going to say bleached, but I don't know that that's the actual term. So I'm going to just say it's been dyed white, right? But you can get them like in black. You can get them like in red. You can get them like in blue. Now, this is going to blow your mind, twin. You can even get them in green. Green. They come in all different kind of colors. Gray. How many shades of gray you can get? It's like an amazing number of shades of the same color. Like if you said navy blue, I could probably show you 12 shades of navy blue. I know you're thinking, no, you being a goofy. But no, they got multiple shades of navy blue. And you think, no, if you hold all the navy blues up to each other, they all gonna be the same. No, they're not. They wouldn't even, navy blue wouldn't all be the same color, and you would think that they would. Royal blue, I could probably show you 10 shades of royal blue. Different companies, they take the cotton, right? And they take this stuff, it's colorful. We call it dye. I don't know what they called it in the Gangster Disciples, but we call it dye. And they put the dye on the fabric and it changes the color of the fabric. It's an amazing thing. You should look into it. You should look into it. All right. I sometimes you have to teach people. They don't know. People don't know stuff until somebody, teaches them. And you don't want somebody running around every time they see a gray T-shirt, they think, oh, that was white, but now it's dirty. He got on a dirty shirt. Back when I was in the GDs, you couldn't wear no dirty white T-shirt. Your T-shirt had to be crispy white. The GDs didn't put up with that. So they didn't even understand that they could wear gray. So now he knows. Now he knows. All right. So yesterday, I called myself going out early. I called myself going out early. Gonna cut the grass. And I did. I cut the grass. But then I said, you know what? It ain't that bad out here. So, I went to edging. Because I like a nice manicured lawn. You know what I'm saying? And I have an edger. Even though I have an older edger, I need to go buy me a new edger. So I decided I'll use the weed whacker thing, trimmer, I guess is technically what they call it. I use the trimmer and, just turn it to the side and do it. That's not the same as edging, though, in my opinion, just so you know. There's an actual tool that you use for edging. I have one. It's an older one. And I just don't feel like pulling it out because it's kind of bulky. And I really need to, I am switching, by the way. I'm kind of transitioning from gas-powered equipment to all battery-powered equipment. And I think so far, Ego is my kind of brand of choice. And so I need to get one of those things where I can do the interchangeable thing. I'm going to do it before the end of the summer. But anyway, so I go out there and I'm doing my kind of faux edging. And it takes a while if you're going to do it right. It takes a while if you're going to do it right. And before I knew it, it was like 12:30ish. And I'm still out there, in the front. I done edged the front. I'm edging up, around the sides and the back. And, cutting in the back, because I got the immediate little backyard. But then I have an area. It's a wooded kind of area, but there's grass there. And I didn't do that yesterday, but I'm edging up around the immediate. And like I said, I look up and it's around 12:30ish. I mean, it was really hot. And I found myself I feel like I was almost having what might be considered a heat stroke. But I get caught, I really do. I like working in the yard. So I get caught up and I don't pay much attention to the time or the temperature or anything like that. I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. But, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to go in. But then I knew that I had to go do the thing. So I went in, I sat down for a little while. It was so hard for me to just get up and go get a shower and all that kind of stuff. Plus, I think some of that bug spray that I used, because, again, I'm near a wooded area, and it's a lot of mosquitoes. And mosquitoes be tearing me up. Mosquitoes, I get a mosquito bite, like it swells up. Like I got a mosquito bite, I'm not going to show it to y'all, but it's on my inner thigh that I got almost 2 weeks ago. and it got really red and inflamed, and it's just now starting to go away and not itch. Me and mosquitoes, we don't get along very well. They bite me, they mean it. You know what I'm saying? And my body don't like it. So I put on some bug spray. It's supposed to be this natural, I wish I had it down here, I would show it to y'all. It's supposed to be this natural bug spray. It doesn't smell as strong as, some of the other bug sprays like Off and all of that kind of stuff. But I think it didn't agree with me this time. And so eventually, I went on, got in the shower and everything and had to get out and everything. But yeah, man, I almost didn't make it. I almost didn't make it. So I said, I got to break the lawn up into small pieces. Either do it really early or really late. And if I had to be out there, break it up into really small areas and handle a small area every day until I get everything back under, because that wooded area is a little out of control. It's a little out of control and I need to get back there and get to it. But anyway, so that's a part of what happened yesterday. I was really messed up. I was really kind of messed up. But I say all of that kind of to say I appreciate y'all's patience with me from yesterday. Get that off, deep woods. It's the truth. The natural stuff worked. No, I didn't get any bites, any mosquito bites yesterday. But, yeah. Daryl said, get some pesticide you can attach to your water hose and spray your lawn to keep those bugs away, especially the mosquitoes. So what I do it twice during the summer. It really controls the bugs. Oh, I'll try that. So you damn near passed out. Pay someone no, I'm not going to pay nobody to do my lawn. I enjoy doing it, number one. And number two, I just feel like, and this is not a judgment against anybody else. This is not a judgment of anybody else. But I feel like men cut their grass. Men manicure their lawn. Well, maybe if you like super rich and you got acres and acres. But for the most part, I feel like men get out there and cut their grass. When I see people done hired somebody to come the house across the street from me, they hire a company to come out and cut the grass. And I'll be thinking, I can't say what I be thinking. It's got something to do with a cat and somebody from Nigeria. And cat, derriere, somebody from Nigeria. That's what I be thinking. Get out there and cut your own grass. Be a man. I know it don't really make you less of a man to not cut your own grass. But it's just something about it to me. I don't know. I like cutting my grass, dealing with my lawn. So, yeah, no, not going to happen. Let me see. Are those bees still in your basement? No, I haven't seen any bees in the basement since I had to deal with that one. Shahira said, glad you're okay. You got to take care of yourself. Just saw a story of an older man who was an umpire or something at a baseball game, died at a game out in that heat. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. Are you calling me old? I feel like you were saying that I'm old. You just saw a story of an older man. I feel like you kind of slid in. Hey, take care of yourself with your old ass. I feel like that's what was said to me in a very nice, caring way. It's okay. I am old. Yes, with the AR at the end. With the AR at the end. Daryl says, I cringe when I see a woman out cutting grass. Yeah, me too. Me too. There's a woman that lives down the street, and I saw her cutting her grass the other day with an electric lawnmower, but not like a newfangled electric lawnmower, the kind where you actually plug a plug in and then you got to be careful with the cord as you cutting it. And I wanted to go cut her grass, but I didn't want no smoke from Mrs. Livingston. And I don't necessarily know that she would have I can almost guarantee if I would have went to Mrs. Livingston and said, that lady is over there cutting her own grass. You mind if I go cut her grass for her? She'd have said, no, baby, go ahead. No problem. Why would you even ask me that? Why would that be a problem? That's probably what she would say. But if I just went over there and start cutting her grass, I don't know if she would. I still have PTSD. I still have PTSD from marriage number 1. You're cutting that bitch grass. You on that bitch house cutting her grass. Oh, my God. Oh, I still have PTSD. I'm just trying to help her out. She's a slightly older lady, and she's not an attractive lady to me. I don't want nothing from her. I just don't want her out there cutting her grass. You know that bitch house cutting her grass. What that bitch doing for you? Now, you ain't over no bitch house cutting her grass for nothing just because out of the goodness of your heart. Yeah, I don't want to deal with all of that. I don't want to deal with all of that. And I don't even think that Mrs. Livingston would do that. But I have PTSD, so I can't chance it. I can't chance it. I just can't chance it. Oh, I'm telling you. I know what would have been said, and I just, don't even make me go back there. Ken says, man, I'm in the South, and I see a lot of that, women cutting grass. It bugs me when I see it. And especially like an old lady. When I say old, somebody who look old, like look frail, cutting their own grass. I'll be like, I just want to stop and cut their grass. I just want to stop and cut their grass for them. But on the off chance, Mrs. Livingston come driving down the street. That PTSD key. So you drive all the way over here to cut some bitch grass, and you gonna tell me, just she was old. What that bitch doing? I don't want to deal with that. I was over in Bond Hill, and I saw an old lady. She was a white lady too. I saw an old white lady out cutting her grass. She was shaking, pushing that lawnmower, and I was like, I should get out and cut her grass. I got time. I can just pull over. She got a small lawn. I can pull over, cut her grass. Number one, I didn't do it for a few reasons. Number one, I thought, but if she sees some black dude jump out, running up to her, I wouldn't have been running. But coming up to her while she cutting her grass, she might feel threatened. And it's 2025. Last thing I need is for some white lady in Bond Hill to shoot me and kill me, talking about he tried to attack me while I was cutting my grass. It's the last thing I need. So I'm not going to do that. But then even if she didn't, I'm all the way over in Bond Hill and Mrs. Livingston just happened to be driving down that street and see me cutting that grass. And I'm gonna explain. Well, see, baby, what had happened was, because of course that's how the explanation is going to start. See, baby, what had happened was I was driving down the street and I saw, this is her, what's your name? Miss Millie. Miss Millie was out here cutting her grass and she was shaking and you could see she looked 100. And I just thought I would get out and cut the grass for her. I don't know how well that would play, and I'm not willing to chance it. But yeah, I do not like to see ladies out there cutting the grass. I just don't. Shahara says, that was not what I was saying. Focus on the point of what I was saying in the story. I know what you were saying, but I also know what I feel. It could have been, one of those, is it subliminal or whatever things. Ibidathia says, I was cutting grass, ran over a beehive that was in the ground. They came out the ground with a vengeance. You know, I hauled top speed. And they start coming up through the lawnmower. I got stung a few times. Yeah, I've done it. I didn't actually get stung. Do y'all remember a few years ago, the yellow jacket hive in the backyard? Which, by the way, they haven't come back. I successfully extinguished that hive. But the yellow jacket hive in the backyard, that's how I was aware of them. I was cutting the grass and I ran over the opening for their hive. And yes, they come out with a vengeance. Yes, they do. But they didn't sting me. But I did notice them. And so I had to get rid of them. Mrs. Nettie said she'll cut it for you. Miss Nettie ain't got no business out there cutting nobody grass. Anthony say end up sleeping on CK couch. Yeah, it's the last thing I need. And a little Asian lady coming over talking about it's time for your medicine. And I'll be like, no, wrong person. He in the bedroom. Say, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you was CK. You know, I don't need that. Let's see. But see, that's how she used to. I got PTSD. That's how she used to do it. Let me see. This white lady used to cut our front yard whenever she cut her grass. We had a riding lawnmower. We would just go ahead and cut ours. And my wife used to be like, why is she cutting our grass? And I'd be like, I don't know. But let her do what God put in her heart. My mother-in-law, who's, an older woman, older than me, she's not a frail woman. But yeah, she's the one with the, 10 acres or whatever. Yeah, she gets out there on that riding mower and she cuts the grass, which is fine. It's fine for her. It's a riding mower. So she ain't working, you know what I'm saying? She's sitting there. And I'm pretty sure it's got the cover on it, so she ain't even really exposed to the sun like that. But she said it'd take her like 2 hours to cut the whole lawn. So if she ain't got time, she breaks it up, or, one of her brothers comes out and cuts it for her. Let me see. I didn't hear no Asian accent. I don't know what you're talking about. So did y'all see where a judge in Franklin County, I believe, ruled Ohio's Ed Choice program unconstitutional? What do we think about that? I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Don't tell y'all the truth. I'm on the fence about Ohio's Ed Choice program. I'm on the fence about it. First, the way that we fund education in Ohio has been ruled unconstitutional. It ain't changed, but it's been ruled unconstitutional, okay? So, that just is what it is. And then you're going to take the unconstitutional funding and apply it to basically private schools? No. Here's what I pay: property taxes. If you own property, you pay property taxes too. And one of the things that I think about when I'm paying property taxes is, and the last time I actually paid property taxes, I wrote out a check, which I hadn't done in I don't know how long, but I literally wrote out a check. And as I was writing the check, I was thinking some of this money is going to Cincinnati public schools. Now, exactly how they work, all of that, I don't know. They say what they say, but that's the way that I think of it in my mind. I don't want it to go to private schools or charter schools. I don't have no kids in the schools. I want it to go to Cincinnati public schools. And if you decide you don't want to go to Cincinnati public schools, Come up with your own money. Come up with your own money. Yeah, but that's the money that's there and it should be able to, I don't know whose voice this is. That's the money that's there and it should be able to go to whatever the school is that they want to go to. No. But then I listen to the other side of the argument. And they're like, man, look, let these people go to school. The money is there. What difference do it make if the money go to this school or if the money go to that school? The money is going to their education. I see that, and it give people choice, and it creates competition, and competition is good. I don't always believe that. I think to some degree that's just something that people say when they want to have their way. Because some of those same people who talk about competition is good complain about other unfair competition. Some of the people who always talk about how good competition is, they complain about immigrants coming here competing for jobs. But I thought competition was good. If competition is just so good, and just, hey, why not bring in another group of people to compete for the jobs and maybe it'll make everybody work harder? Oh, it don't work that way. Competition is good when I can make more money. So a part of me is like, if you do want to go to another, like if I had a kid and I wanted my kid to go to a charter school in the city of Cincinnati and people are already funding education, why can't I take some of that money and send it to this charter school? But really, for the most part of me feels like when I'm paying my taxes, I want to fund Cincinnati public schools. So I think maybe it should be illegal. And I don't know about unconstitutional. Unconstitutional. What does the Constitution say that makes it unconstitutional? I didn't read, of course, the opinion to know that. But just in terms of whether or not I agree with choice, school choice, ed choice, and all of that kind of stuff. If you want to send your kid to a school, it's not a Cincinnati public school, you got to come up with your own money. Be that from grants or scholarships or whatever, but you probably should have to come up with your own money. And as far as I'm concerned, it can be as many schools out there as they want to put out there. And if somebody want to go to them, because my understanding is some of these schools are successful. Some of these schools are really successful. But I think, Steban, taxpayer dollars should go for public schools. They should go for public schools. Anthony says, I'm with school choice as long as they have to take any child that applies and provide every service needed by any child. I still don't think I am. I'm for school choice. But to me, school choice means you as a parent get to send your child to the school of your choice. And if that school is publicly funded, then your child should go, you shouldn't have to pay for it. And if it is not a publicly funded school, which should be the public schools, then you should have to pay for it. But you can go to any school of your choice. I'm for that. 100%. 100%. Shannon says the non-public schools have discretion to not accept certain students. And I agree that should not be the case. That should not be the case. If they're taking public dollars from the public schools. Yeah. Dee Dee saying, from my understanding, Ohio Choice allows you to go to Catholic schools. Catholic schools teach religion, and there is supposed to be separation of church and state. Using public money for religious education is unconstitutional. Okay. Interesting. I'll look into it. I didn't really see, like I said, I didn't read the decision. But yeah, public dollars should go to public schools. Plain and simple. And again, I'm not against charter schools, because somebody gonna say, "Oh, you're against charter schools and you're against private schools." I'm not against any of those. But I shouldn't be paying for your child to go to a private school. Because, I don't have a choice. I have to pay my property taxes. I have to pay that. So I'm being forced to contribute money to the school system as it is. But I shouldn't be forced to subsidize your child's private school education. So, and Dee Dee says, not just Catholic, but Christian schools too. Yes. My granddaughter goes to a Christian school. She didn't get she doesn't use public money. And if she want to go to a Christian school that's a private school, that's what should happen. Oh, let's see. Emanuel, did you hear the Texas governor wants the 10 commandments in every classroom in Texas? Believe it or not, I don't have a problem with that. Esteban. I understand that there are people who do. I don't have a problem. For real, what will it hurt to have the 10 commandments in every school? What would it hurt? Or in every classroom? What would it hurt? Who would that hurt? But what if you don't believe in that? Then don't follow it, which most people don't anyway. Even the people who say they believe in it, most of them don't follow it. But what would it hurt? Well, Emanuel, there's a separation of church and state. Yeah, it's kind of, sort of. But my guess is eventually that's going to the Supreme Court. And my guess is it'll be kind of ruled as unconstitutional. But realistically, what could it hurt? And again, I understand some of this stuff is just what's the word? I don't know what the word is. They playing games to pretend to be these hardcore Christians and all of that kind of stuff. Like, oh, this will show that I'm a good Christian and we're a Christian nation. And I'm not saying it for those purposes. We used to say they perping. So I'm not, believing that, Abbott is doing it because he's a good Christian. He perping, but I don't know who would it hurt? I saw where CPS had to cut 12 Head Start classes, teachers, and paraprofessionals. Yeah, because they run out of money. Daryl says, why had the 10 commandments in schools when most of these evil politicians don't follow not one commandment? Again. What could it hurt? Brian says no ethnic default, no religious defaults. It can hurt a lot if you aren't Christian. How? You cannot like it. But how could having the 10 Commandments in the class hurt you if you're not a Christian? How could it hurt you? You think, oh, the 10 Commandments is there. It hurts so bad. Oh, it burns. No, it don't. It don't. But I don't believe in it. Then don't believe in it. Don't believe in it. It's just there. It's some stuff, if you don't believe in it, it's just some words that are there. Again, I'm not necessarily making the case that they should be there. I don't think, it's not my intention to make the case that every classroom should have the 10 Commandments. It's not. But again, I don't think it'll hurt you. I don't think it'll hurt nobody. Nat says slippery slope. Slippery slope to what? A slippery slope to what? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm asking. It's a slippery slope to what? Ibadathi says, guess it explains why they took prayers out of schools. I'm not sure what you mean when you say that. You can still pray in school. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people who believe, they took prayer out. I'm not saying you believe this. They took prayer out of school. So you can't even pray. And so, yeah, you can. You can. You can still pray. People don't think you can. Brian says psychological, like white Jesus. What will it hurt? White Jesus be everywhere. It don't hurt me none. I just know that's not what Jesus looked like. But it don't hurt me, even psychologically. If it's just there. I just see some dude with, some white dude. Ain't this like how he be looking? Like he's saying either 6 or 7. Like Jesus is saying 6 or 7. It's just some white dude counting to 7. I know that ain't Jesus. Brian says, maybe not you. Okay. Nat says, next thing you know, they'll be saying that we should pray before school. Who will it hurt? Yeah, who will it hurt? I'm not trying to be funny, but who does that hurt? Who does that hurt? I don't. But I mean, look, maybe I'm just thinking about it in terms of, not necessarily religiously. You got 10 rules up on the board or in the poster or whatever. What if they didn't call them the 10 Commandments and they just called them 10 principles to a good life? I guess you had to take one of them out. Thou shalt have no other God before me. You might have to take that one out. But I still don't see where it hurt nobody. Because who is that God? You determine who is that God. If you can't have no other gods before me, if you like I don't understand Buddhism. So if you're a Buddhist, please forgive me if what I'm saying sounds ignorant because it's not the way your religion works. But if you believe that Buddha, then don't have no gods before Buddha. Buddha is number one. Allah is number one. whoever. Just I don't see where it hurt. But I'm not making the case for it. Kim says Norwood City Schools pledge the flag every morning. Do CPS do it? Serious questions. I really don't know. My grands go to Catholic schools. I don't know if they do. I remember when I was little, when I was young, they used to try to make us do the Pledge of Allegiance. And I remember right around the 7th grade, because I remember at Schwab getting kicked out of class because I would not do the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know. Nobody ever told me not to do it. I think one day I just read it. And I was like, no, I don't. I don't pledge my allegiance to a flag or to the republic for which it stands. My allegiance is not to that. Plus, I didn't believe that was, the republic stood for, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. I was like, that is not what this country stands for. And so there was something in me said, no, don't do that anymore. That's not where your allegiance lies. Mm-mm. So I refused to do it. Now, people hear stuff like that. I still enjoy living in this country. I'm not going to say this is the best country on the planet or anything like that, because this is the only country that I've lived in. I do know people who live in other countries who say, from their perspective, it's better than this country. Who am I to tell them they're wrong? I don't, but I enjoy living here. I enjoy, I'm going to say the freedoms, even though I don't necessarily agree that they are, that we have these freedoms. I believe we have freedoms as long as they allow us to have them. Like, you got a right to remain silent, but we can't compel you to talk. How is that a right to remain silent if you can compel me to talk? Well, but that right is conditional. Then is it really a right? You know what I'm saying? So I that's why I'm always hesitant to say I appreciate. There's freedoms that we have. We have to. They conditional. But I do still appreciate living here. But I got kicked out of class. They used to they would they tried to force me to say them. I was threatened, you're going to be expelled if you don't say the Pledge of Allegiance. But come to find out, they couldn't expel me for that. That was a scare tactic. And then I believe they called my mama. And mama said, if he don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, he ain't got to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I was really shocked because I thought, you're going to get in trouble. Taking this principled stand, you're going to get in trouble. But my mama was just like, if he don't want to say it, he ain't got to say it. I'm like, mama had my back. Mama didn't have my back a lot of times when it came to school and stuff like that. I got a many whoopings because the teacher said something, even when it wasn't true. Mama typically believed the adults in a situation. So I got in a lot of trouble for stuff like that. She said, if he don't want to say it, he ain't got to say it. And so when it would come time for the Pledge of Allegiance in homeroom, they would tell me, you go stand in the hallway. And they would kick me out of the class, and I would have to go stand in the hallway and wait in the hallway until they've all finished saying the Pledge of Allegiance. And then they would let me back in. But it never hurt me that they said the Pledge of Allegiance. It never hurt me. It was out there say, I always got sent to the office. Didn't say the pledge. Yeah, eventually they just made me stand in the hall. Dante say, so people have a problem with prayer in schools, but don't have a problem with deviant drag queens reading to your children. Oh, that's the little girl. I'll call her back later. Well, some people, yeah. Some people, yeah. I don't see. I'm on some people wrong side of everything. I don't have a problem with drag queens reading to the kids. Am I wrong for that too? I don't have a problem with drag queens reading to the kids. Again, that little baby, what, 7? And if a drag queen come in and read, and I pick up the little baby, and I say, hey, what happened today in school? I imagine the little baby gonna say, this strange looking lady came and read a book to us. What do you mean strange looking lady? Yeah, she looked strange, like she had hair on her face, like you, grandfather. And I'd be thinking, oh, they had a drag queen come and read to the little baby. So, well, what did she read? But then she'll probably be able to tell me the book. And what happened in the book, blah, blah, blah. And then that'll be the end of it. Like, I don't think that the kids are necessarily going to be, they're traumatized by this. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want to read to the kids, just go read to the kids. If they allow you to come and read to the kids, why you got to dress up as a lady? I don't know. But again, who is it hurting? And you know, I guess what are you reading? Is it age appropriate? And what's the underlying message in that? Because, you know, with little kids, it's almost always some little underlying message. Like, are you reading some story that's trying to convince my kid that they should dress up? But, okay, they won't read stories to convince your kid that they should dress up in drag, but to teach my kid or my grandkid that it's being a drag person or a trans person or whatever is normal, just like being a non-trans person. Okay, if you're reading messages like that, we got issues. We got issues. But if you just, you know, reading C-Spot Run, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem with that. I think adults have a problem with it because we have an issue with the drag thing. But I'm telling you, I can almost guarantee, I hate when people say that. If it's an almost guarantee, it's no guarantee. I truly believe that the little baby would just be like, it was a strange looking lady that read to us today. And that would be about it. She wouldn't give, you know, an additional thought to it. Like, oh, so that was actually a male dressed up as a female because of it. I don't believe her little brain would go into all of that. Jerica says the Livingston parents raised some strong-willed, outspoken, independent thinking boys because I couldn't imagine having the Livingston boys in my class. I don't know about no other Livingston boy, but I was a really good person. I was quiet. I was attentive. I only asked questions when I actually had questions, and they were clarifying questions for me. And then once I got it, I had it. Yeah, I didn't do homework. That was my problem. I didn't do homework. But other than that, and, you know, not saying the pledge, other than that, I can't think of any real issues that me being in your class would have caused you. I think as a teacher, you would have loved to have little Emanuel Livingston in your class. Nat says, what does the separation of church and state have to do with drag queens? Drag has nothing to do with the topic, but people got them on their minds, huh? Well, what does the separation of church and state have to do with that? The separation of church and state, as my understanding of it, because there's really no such thing. But the separation of church and state really just is supposed to mean the state can't force you to be a Christian. Like, they can't put you in jail because you're not a Christian. There's no state religion. And I know you're thinking, but if you're putting up the 10 Commandments, that's a state, that's the religion. And if the state is putting it there, I don't necessarily agree that just because something is displayed means that that's the state telling you that you have to honor it. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because I don't know if there's some tenets of Islam that they wanted to put up. I wouldn't have no problem with it. Put them up. It's positive. Put it up. Why not? These are some good rules to live by. Go ahead and put it up. And if I see them, I'm not like, oh my God, now I got to pray to Allah and say, Assalamu alaikum. Like, no. Maybe I need to know more about Buddhism. Put up some Buddhist rules. I just put them all. This is our rule corner. You got the 10 Commandments. You got the 10 Buddhist laws. You got the 10, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. I don't know why Buddhism is the only alternative religion I can think of right now. But it wouldn't bother me at all. It wouldn't bother me at all. How old was Nate before he became a rebel? Daryl says, it's the adult that put those thoughts into the situation. Kids usually don't care if the person is entertaining. Right. Brian says, it's not telling you, but it's sure as heck suggesting it. You wouldn't have a problem with other religious stuff, but the point is most would oppose it. But I understand what you're saying. Just to be clear, I understand the point that you're making. I don't think that because someone would oppose it, it shouldn't happen. So maybe the answer to, hey, we're going to put up the 10 Commandments, is some other religion come in and say, yeah, while you're at it, put this up too. And then the third religion come in and say, and while you're at it, put this up too. It's like, remember down on the square, what did they used to have? They had a Christmas tree or something like that? And that's how the Klan got in? Like, now, if y'all can have a Christmas tree, then we can have a cross. And then some other group, the Jewish community was like, well, if they can put up a cross, then we can put up a Star of David or a menorah or whatever they wanted to put up. And then everybody was like, okay, then we're going to have all these religious displays down here. And I remember thinking, cool. A lot of different religious displays. Who could be against that? Well, a lot of people were against it, but I didn't see a problem with it. So put them all up. Nat says people can manipulate or come up with a rationale for almost anything. Ask Taco. I'm not sure that I'm just saying, and all of this came from somebody mentioning that Abbott in Texas is talking about putting up the 10 Commandments in every classroom. My question was, who does it hurt? Who does it hurt? And I think Brian in particular was saying, psychologically, it could hurt you if you don't believe in that. So if you're not Jewish, Christian, psychologically, that could hurt you. Jerica says, who is Taco? Trump always chickens out. That's what Taco stands for. Trump always chickens out. Oh, there was something else. There was something else that I wanted to mention. Oh shoot. The one of the dudes who set the bridge on fire got sentenced, allegedly, or I guess it's not allegedly anymore. He got community control, which was suspended. So basically, he got probation for, helping set the bridge on fire and cover it up. Now I know somebody got some real jail time. But how do you set a bridge on fire that they say costs, what was it, 11 or $12 million worth of damage? And everybody involved don't go to jail. Literally everybody involved should go to jail. But, see, now this is where people don't, you can't convince me if that was four black people, you know what I'm saying, 3 brothers and a sister, that they wouldn't have all went to jail. You can't convince me of that. Hey, you participated and helped try to cover up obstructed justice of someone or some people who caused $11 million worth of damage to a bridge. I was, see what had happened, Your Honor, was, they was doing stuff and I was, just shut up. You going to jail. You going to jail. But Your Honor, I didn't set no fire. You going to jail. Come on, Your Honor. I got a drug problem. You know what I'm saying? Let me just get some court and you going to jail. What about probation, Your Honor? You going to jail. It ain't gonna be no, thank you, Your Honor, for giving me an opportunity to get my life straight. No. Come on, Your Honor. No, I'm sorry. You're going to jail. CK?
Hey, under what circumstances? I meant to let you said you're going under the jail under what circumstances?
If you, me, Twin, and Jerica set fire to a bridge and caused $12 million worth of damage, are we all going to jail?
Yeah.
There you go.
100%. Yeah, we don't have no 99. It's 100%. You're right. And I don't believe money could even save us.
Right.
You're right. I agree with you on that. I agree with you 100%. And I was calling to ask you about your situation with the grass. So have you ever went against your better judgment and crossed the line because of your trauma that you went through in the past in your former marriage?
Wait, say that again. You broke up a little bit.
My apologies. I was saying that, okay, with your past trauma in your first marriage, have you ever crossed the line in your new marriage and did that worrying about the repercussions? Because remember, you was talking about cutting the grass, but you're like,
no, I never have. No.
Okay. So yeah, I think you're going with the right judgment because don't start none, won't beat none.
Okay.
Because if, like you said, you having the thoughts. If you're doubting, so like you said, we got 100% chance we're going to jail. You don't have 100% chance you can cut that lady grass and your wife drive down the street and it might be an altercation.
But I'm sure if I asked her, I'm 83% certain that if I said,
83, I like that.
Yeah, if I said, baby, that lady over there, see that lady over there cutting her grass, I want to cut her grass for her. She shouldn't be out there cutting it. She would actually, okay, what she would say is she got some sons. Her son should be out there cutting it. But sitting that aside, if I said, so you mind if I go cut her grass for her? She would say, no, I ain't got no problem with that. Go cut her grass. Why are you even asking me that? Like it would sound foreign to her that I would ask that question. But like I said, she would say yes, no problem. And why are you even asking that question if I don't ask? But if I do it without asking, that could be a problem.
You have adapted to the new world order, sir. See, asking is good. Remember, we didn't have these rules and regulations before the Me Too. Now we can ask for everything. That's why you have some beautiful women out here in America saying they got guys scared to approach them. This is real thoughts of women in America because of the new world order, because of the consent. You say, okay, I would do that, but let me ask my wife. Even if I was going to do it, I'm going to ask her. I would never do it without asking. That's what I'm hearing from you, Livingston.
Yes.
So it might happen, but it will never happen without the consent of your better half.
Correct.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on a second, CK. Hold on. Somebody said I'm shining. The sun is literally right here. See if I move that way. It's not as the sun happens to at this particular time hit me right here in the face. So it's not. It's the sun. Just happens to be exactly where I'm sitting. But it'll pass. I guess I could cover that window, but it is what it is. All right, go ahead, CK.
Yes, Livingston, this is about your show. This is your platform. You made a statement before I got on and you clarified about we are all going to jail. Not some, not just the men, not just the black people. Anybody that participated is going to prison.
Yes.
This is how we avoid prison. If we talk about it, if we talk about robbing the bank, and then we will make a righteous decision not to rob the bank because none of us want to go to prison, sir. See, this is how you stop crime in America.
Hold on, wait. I'm not understanding what you're saying. I didn't understand that point. It went above my head. Say it again.
Okay. You started off the movie when I first got on the show. You said, we all going 100%.
Right.
This is how you stop crime in America. We discuss, yes, we have thoughts of crimes, but we get together, we discuss it, and we come through with a good solution, and we remain free, sir.
Who's getting together? Who is getting together thinking of crimes and discussing them? That's where you lose
doing it now. That's what I'm saying. You're saying if we all got together and burnt up a bridge, we're all going to. I'm just saying, you always say, how do we stop the crime in Cincinnati? Stop the crime in Cincinnati. That's it. It's right there. You're talking about it. You're giving a solution, and it's flying over your head. You tell what you're saying to us, to the people. This is how you stop. You always come over here and ask, how do you stop crime? I'm telling you how to do it. You discuss the crime openly.
Well, no.
Publicly.
I think you mischaracterizing what's happening or maybe misunderstanding. I don't have a thought that I might want to burn a bridge. Somebody actually did set a bridge on fire and caused $12 million worth of damage. It was either 3 or 4. I think it was 4 people. I know one of them got some jail time, like 9 or so years in prison.
Whoa!
One of them just literally, it's in the news today that he was sentenced basically to 3 years of probation. So I'm not saying, you know what, y'all? Maybe we should go burn a bridge. Like, that's not what's happening. I'm not discussing potentially committing
I'm
crime.
saying that's what they should have done before they set the bridge on fire. They should have discussed this amongst themselves, sir.
They might have, but they were probably all high on meth or something. And I imagine if you high on meth and somebody say, hey, man, let's burn a bridge, man. You might be like, hey, man, that's a great idea, man. Let's burn the bridge. And the next thing you know, the bridge is on fire.
Hold on. So you telling me that most of these crimes being committed in America is because people are high on drugs?
No, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that this particular one was probably committed because they was high on drugs.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, I'm always trying to just hit you with the salute because I know you're always searching how to stop it. And like I said, you have to premeditate everything. You have it all planned out. I went through the same situation as you, sir. I'm driving down the street. I see a young lady in distress in the rain with a little baby. What am I to do? I have to pull over, give them a ride so they don't have to sit in the rain. I cared like you do. I don't want those people in the rain.
Okay.
You see my vein? I mean, how would you feel you riding down the street? This is Emanuel Livingston in his whip. He's riding down the street in his whip, and he sees a young lady and her baby in the rain. What does he do?
It all depends, but probably nothing.
The same thing. But would you ask for? So would it cross your mind the same thing with the grass?
Maybe like if I felt compelled to help them, it'll depend on how hard it's raining and
That's what I'm saying.
what I'm doing. But if I'm just chilling and it look like they're not going too far, then, I might ask them if they want to ride. But other than that, no, probably I'm just going to keep going. She should have an umbrella and, what I'm saying, but hopefully it don't happen a second time. But I'm probably not going to stop and do that. Probably not.
This is what I'm telling you, sir. I crossed the line. You didn't. I did that. I said, come on, you get it. Oh, took them to where they need to do. I don't want anything. I just want you all to get to your destination safe. But I did what you could not do. But the difference is you are a married man. I wasn't. This was even before I was married the first time.
But I thought so this ain't because didn't you just tell us not too long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, about some chick that you met and you picked her up at a bus stop or something?
But that was dry. That was a whole different again. That was 30 years later.
Wait,
this
so you
was
just
30 years. This happened in
for 30
Atlanta.
years you just make a habit of picking up chicks in the rain?
No, I just told you it was dry. It was sunny. It wasn't raining that day when I picked her up with her kids.
Okay.
About a month ago, it wasn't raining. I was just telling you about that.
Okay.
This was down south. This was in Atlanta. This was when I was a young man. So this is when you're trying to get that nookie, but I wasn't trying to get the nookie. I was trying to get them to the destination. So I know your emotional feelings when you saying what you're saying about the grass. I'm not trying, baby. I don't want no booty from her. I just want to cut the grass because she's too old to be cutting the grass. Or I don't like a woman cutting the grass. That's what it was. I don't want they in the rain. This is the young, you know what I'm saying, back then.
Okay.
But the same things happen. But now, like you said, we old now.
So wait, are you saying that when you picked up the woman and her child in the rain, that it caused a problem in your marriage?
No, I was not. This was before I was a young man at the time. I was like 20, you know what I mean? This was in Atlanta. But I picked her up, dropped her off. It caused no problem. But like I'm saying, I didn't have to do that. I'm opening myself, like you said, when these guys go to prison. Hey, CK, you put yourself in that position.
But what position did you put yourself in? You wasn't married, and you just gave somebody a ride. How was that putting yourself in a position?
You're making yourself vulnerable as soon as you let someone in your car, sir. She can say anything. You could be attacked, anything. You don't know this person. Use your logic, sir. This is a very violent and unpredictable world. You disagree?
No, I don't disagree. I didn't understand. I don't disagree.
Yeah, you just said I wouldn't do nothing. That's how you survive in the world. When you telling me about Shannon Sharp, you open with, he put himself in that. So you're passing up the young girl and the baby because you're not putting yourself in no position. There's no sexual position to be desired. I'm just keeping moving, baby. Coming home. Need something from the store? That's what we're doing, sir. You're not putting yourself in no position. I did. So you're trying to do the right thing. That could land up a prison. You could get killed. You can get robbed. That's what doing the right thing is. You're leaving yourself open to vulnerability.
You could get robbed and killed. How could you have landed in prison in that situation?
What if a woman, hold on, you think people ain't made concrete? He attacked me. Oh, you can get a rape charge, anything. This is how America works, sir. She's in your car. Nobody's around. Nothing's recorded. She says what she says. The law believes them. Handcuffs go on your black ass. 43 years for Emanuel. 19 years old. He had to do 43. Got out at 59.
Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about that.
Of course, but how many niggas in prison wasn't concerned about that? That's what I'm saying.
I think that's very, very far-fetched.
Hold on. 3 to 1 of us will be in the system when we are born. So ain't nothing far-fetched.
You just made that up out of nowhere.
No, I'm going by research.
You going by what?
You ask Google right now, what's the ratio of black men that's in the system? Probation, incarceration. You better look at it, and we minorities in this country. Hold on. You better not test my scholar. I'm a real scholar.
Hold on.
You're going to get embarrassed on your own platform.
Wait. So there is a statistic out that says when you born, you going to be in the system?
1 out of 3 black males. That's the stick. Look at the jail. What do you think the jails are populated here? And we minorities in the country. Have you even seen the math?
Okay, I'm sorry. I was confused. You said something about babies being born in the system, and I was completely confused. Okay, I think I know what you're saying now. You're saying when you're born a black male, you have a 1 in 3 chance of ending up in the system. I didn't understand that's what you were saying. I apologize. I still don't know if that's true.
It's still programming. I'm just saying it's programming. You look at prison. I'm just saying.
I'm saying, yeah, that is something I will have to look at. I don't know what the percentage is, but okay.
What do your eyes show you when you look at prison today? From your eyes today, what does it show you?
I don't really,
dominated by who?
I don't really look at prisons, but just because there's a lot of people in prison and a lot of them are black doesn't necessarily mean that's 1 in 3 black men. So again, that's something I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just not confirming it because I don't know.
Your father took you to church from a young man, sir. You have been taught the whole game. Slavery, crack. Now you want to act like you don't have no history in your brain no more? Why would you do this, sir? Why would you act like these things don't exist when you know we are suffering in this country? I can't believe you, Livingston, the king of talk. Now you're forgetting the knowledge that was put in your brain? We are minorities. We are attacked. Malcolm X, Dr. King, that was assassinated with bullets. You forgot.
I'm not saying. I'm not
Why
saying.
Why are you doing me like this, man?
I'm not saying, again, that what you're saying is not true. I'm just saying I can't verify it, just off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, and I'm just saying what you were saying is keeping us out of prison. Your mindset to keep going, your mindset to take over the game plan before we commit the crime will keep you out of prison. I use this logic on the young people. That's what I'm telling you. I say, listen, if you're going to commit a homicide, get together with the crew, talk about it, and y'all won't commit it because all y'all going to jail. Just like Livingston said. And when you think about jail, nobody wants to go. That's what I'm saying. You get together, you tell these ideas that you're talking about on your platform, but you got to say it in real life. And you do keep people living, and you keep people out of prison.
Okay. Now, I just looked this up while you were talking.
Give it to me.
In 2018, which maybe is the number that they have, 2,272 out of every 100,000 black men are incarcerated. That's not 1 out of 3.
100,000. You said incarcerated. I said part of the system, sir. I didn't say incarcerated. I said part. That means probation. That don't mean incarceration is different.
Okay.
It's the system. Yeah, I'm saying as long as they get you in the system, that's part of the game too, sir. That's keeping your employment down. We looking for higher. Hopefully, Livingston, you don't have any felonies because you're a black man. That's, hopefully you don't have any felonies. But I can't guarantee that because you're a black man in America. They could have put it on you.
Okay, now I just looked that up. This is according to AI. It says
There we
that
go.
approximately 1 in 3 black men can expect to be incarcerated or on probation at some point in their lives.
That's me. I told you. I'll do my research, sir.
Okay.
I'm saying I'm really for the betterment of my people. And now I have to tell them I'm superior thinking because I don't think I'm better than you. You think you're better than me, so I will always dominate you. I'm the star. You're the fucking what is it? The fans. That's what they got to realize. We don't want to go to prison. Nobody's tough, and like you said, the toughness. Remember the toughness. Hit them with that. It's all about that.
Toughness.
The toughness is getting us killed.
Tough.
We don't need to be tough. Just be regular.
Just be regular. Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Just be, man, hey, how you doing? Hey, all right now, how the family? Yes, sir. All right now. Yeah. That's how you live. Don't all that mean mug and grunting. You know what I mean? Don't do that.
All right.
Just be cool. Don't let them know. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. God bless.
All right. God bless. All right. I didn't thoroughly understand a good portion of that conversation, but I looked it up, and I can't verify that number that came from Google, but I don't have a reason to disbelieve it either. So that is what it is. Okay. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about, y'all. For real, I don't remember what we was talking about. So maybe I should talk about something else. Somebody brought up something that I wanted to talk about. It was not like a deep conversation. Ironheart, the series on Disney Plus. Let me grab the phone. Sorry. James, good afternoon.
E-Man.
How you doing?
I called to tell you, you are a inspiration.
Oh. Well,
and thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm not sure what I did or who I inspired, but I'm glad to hear it.
You said last week you should call somebody to make it feel good, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, I'm glad to hear it. If I've inspired you, that makes me happy.
Okay, E-Man. Have a great day.
All right. That's it? Oh, that was it. All right. Hey, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Tanika says, when did you sneak on? I didn't sneak on. I came on in all my glory. I don't even know what that means. Let me see. Daryl says, Ironheart. Okay. I don't like it. I don't like it so far. I feel like they're trying to tap into a part of, I guess, Black American culture that I don't experience. Like, I don't have no friends that say ashe. You know what I'm saying? To stuff. Like when I say something, like, hey, how you feeling today? Ashe. You know what I'm saying? I've heard that, but I don't have no friends who do that. You know what I'm saying? Or who, walk around with crystals and stuff like that. I'm not a Chicago person, and maybe it's a part of Chicago culture, or the Black culture in Chicago that they trying to tap into. Plus, I'm not a young person. And, a lot of the stuff that they're doing in the show leans heavy into, I guess, young people culture. Maybe that's how young people actually communicate with one another. But I'm not feeling a lot of the stuff that they're doing in that show. It it doesn't ring true to me. It doesn't ring true to my experiences. And it feels Hollywood forced to me. Now, maybe to somebody else, that is your experience, your black experience. But it's not mine. And so, yeah, I don't have a single friend in 2025, and even my daughter, who's a young person, she doesn't have a single friend who made her a mixtape, like an actual cassette tape. You know, like it just doesn't ring true for me, and it feels very forced. Yeah, I'm not feeling it, but I'll watch it. And we halfway through, because I watched all 3 episodes, so we halfway through. So when they drop the next 3, I'll watch them, and maybe it'll grow on me or something. Maybe it will, but for right now, I mean, I'm not gonna dog it out too bad. Saying for me, for Emanuel Livingston, it doesn't feel authentic. But I watched it. Daryl says Ironheart is a dope series. Okay. You're younger than I am. And, maybe you just made your friend a mixtape last week. So you like, hey, yeah, he made her a mixtape. Remember, I made so-and-so a mixtape last week. Like, yeah, that's what I'm there. I mean, where did he get the cassette from? Where do you buy cassettes at nowadays? I don't know. It's just some stuff just be seeming weird to me. Tanika says, what's Ironheart and where can I watch it? It's on Disney Plus. It's a series on Disney Plus. The lead is a young black girl. I don't remember her name. On the show, her name is Riri, but I don't remember the actress's name. But it's a black lead, young female black lead. I also didn't like, and this is gonna sound hypocritical. Forgive me. This is going to sound hypocritical, but I don't like the either trans or cross-dresser that they threw in there. Why? Why did they have to throw that in there? I mean, I guess they exist, but why? Why did they have to throw that in there? Can we? So now we can't. Thank you, Tyler Perry. Now we can't have a black show without some ultra exhibiting gayness in it. Why? Why can't we? Why? Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. It adds nothing to the show. If anything, to me, it takes away something from the show. Nat says, so the show is woke. They don't get into it, thank goodness. They don't get into it. But, like, this dude, I'm assuming it's a dude. It looked like a dude in, like, this super duper heavy drag makeup looking stuff. And he talked like super, you know. And I'm not even it wasn't necessary to me. It wasn't necessary to me. And he It's not a huge part of the story or the cast. It's kind of an ancillary character, who it did bother me a little bit. It did bother me a little bit because it was not necessary. And to me, it's so distracting every time that character is on screen. But maybe that's, it's something I got to deal with, and I'm not dealing with it right. So I don't know. But Shannon says maybe they are non-binary. Okay. Being non-binary don't mean you have to put on a whole bunch of makeup and switch and stuff when you walk. You know what I'm saying? Being non-binary, my understanding was that just means you non-binary. Look, I don't want to turn this into no rant, but I really do. Men don't do femininity very well. Women don't act like that. Men. Women don't act like y'all act when y'all try to emulate women. That's not how women act, or at least none of the women that I know. How you more... I made the mistake one day of saying more feminine, but it's not actually more feminine. But how are you more over the top than women when you're trying to emulate women? It's annoying on TV and in real life. It's annoying. Anthony says, I beg to differ. Marcus Jenkins does not act like that. Marcus Jenkins does not act like that. Even though he himself said that he's homosexual, he doesn't act like that. Daryl says, yeah, that cross-dresser that's part of the team is cringy. I hate that they have to put a gay or trans character in movies and TV series. Yeah. But again, I'm going to watch the series, see what happens, see what comes of it. And, that'll be that. Lastly, since I'm on media right now, Pop the Balloon or Find Love. I watched the latest episode. And let me say this. Women, when did this start being a thing? Just curious. Hold on, I'll get back to that in a minute. Caller.
Hi, it's Edsel. How you doing?
How are you doing?
All right. So I say with my, hey, what were y'all talking about? What character was you talking about that was creepy?
On Ironheart.
I've never watched it.
Okay, when you watch it, it'll jump out at you. Like it'll because it's so over the top. You would be like,
I'm not gonna watch it because I'm glad you told me who it was. I would not watch something like that. That you stick a LGBTQ character in there just for the hell of it. Does that person advance the plot?
They don't advance. They don't advance the plot. They're just one of many characters in the show.
Right. It's like the new Velma on Scooby Doo. It's like she's like she's dark. I don't know if she's like Indian or biracial or whatever, and she's like openly gay, and it's like this was unnecessary. You didn't need to do that shit. We get it. This is an off-brand group of kids. They smoke weed. They talk to a dog. We didn't need the gay shit in there.
I remember Mrs. Livingston watching that show. I didn't watch it, but I remember hearing some people talk about that, And yeah, I agree with you. It's not necessary.
Right. I mean, it's like, hey, they got their own thing. I just don't. I'm just not with that. You know, that forced assimilation and forced that's just that type of stuff. It totally cheapens the work of the artist.
Okay.
It cheapens the work, cheapens the creative, and it's just like, again, it's just unnecessary. I'm sorry. I just caught the end of the show. You know, I ain't hollered at you in a while, so I wanted to holler at you. And y'all was talking about gay characters. Kind of like some of the gay characters on this show, on this podcast. You know, they don't really advance the plot. I ain't gonna say their names, but they know who they is.
Okay, I'm glad they know who they are. I have no idea who they are.
Man, one of them lives in a state that rhymes with Lexus. I don't want to diss anybody. I'm sorry, because it sounds like a diss. I'm sure these are fine people, but they don't advance anything. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. But there was one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. Like I said, I'm driving on 75. Gridlock. So I'm gonna hop off. But yeah, because when you said that, it immediately made me think of Velma. On the new Scooby Doo, and kind of like the new Good Times. I'm glad it's canceled. They made it over the top ghetto. That was just like, that's too much. You ain't got to do all that.
Yeah, it was way too much.
But hey, always a pleasure, Emanuel. Thanks for taking my call, and I'll holler at y'all hopefully tomorrow. But if not, until then, a whoop is on your ass. Oh!
Yeah, right. That was Fame, also known as Edsel. I still don't believe it. All right, back to the Pop the Balloon or Find Love show. Pop the Balloon or Find Love. When did this become a thing? That's the whole question. Now, if you don't know what I mean, it really is a thing now. It's a thing. Like people, hey, everybody clap for so-and-so. And for whatever reason, the ladies are doing this nowadays. That is annoying. That's annoying. I genuinely, I don't know. Maybe it bothered me a level that it should not have bothered me. But it bothers me when I see them do that. Like if I was on that show, Jacqueline says I've never watched it. But this ain't even a Pop the Balloon. I've seen it on a number of different things where younger women, I would say, early 30s on down. That's a thing that they do now. And so you know how we clap for people? That's what they do now. It's so annoying. I know I'm getting old. Tria says the LBGTQIA. No. It's not just them. Because Tanika said that's a young girl thing. Yes. Those younger, like I said, early 30s and down. And I don't know if the young girls picked it up from the LGBT community or whatever. Sierra says it means clock that T. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm old, and as an old man, because it's just annoying. Tell me what that means. Tell me what that means. My guess is, Sierra, you do that. You do that. That's my guess. If I was on the show and everybody hadn't already popped on me, because Mrs. Livingston, we were talking about it yesterday, we were watching the show, and she said, ask me something about if I was on the show. And I said, if I was on the show, everybody would pop their balloon on me. I know coming out, number one, I'm 5'5". So, that's number one. Number two, I have an unconventional hairline. That's number two. But then number three, I consider myself just a straight talking guy. So that would get me popped. And then anybody who was left who I saw doing this, Arlette, can I go pop some balloons? What? Don't you want to ask a question? Can I pop some balloons first? Pow, pow, pow. Okay, well, why did you pop her balloon? Because she did this. And that's annoying. That's it. That's enough. That's enough. Chelsea says it's like preach queen. But they'd say it like when she'd be like, all right, give it up for, whatever, when he leaving and didn't find nobody, and they be doing this. That ain't no preach queen. Well, ain't nobody preaching. Instead of clapping, that's what they doing. But yeah, no, I watched the episode yesterday. It was one girl on there who claims she's a professional model. She was not on there looking for somebody. They need to do a better job of screening. They need to do a better job of screening. And I wouldn't mind them removing people from I wouldn't mind seeing them remove people from the lineup when they realize that they're just there to be seen on the show. When that's your whole purpose for being there, Arlette and BM should say, okay, you're not actually here looking for love. You here looking for a little bit of fame, a little bit of this is a little clout chasing. Thank you, but you can leave the lineup. Because she was just there for clout chasing. And if you haven't seen the show, I don't want to spoil it, but they didn't really have any matches. Like, even the people who matched, they wasn't real matches. There were some ulterior motives there. And you can kind of tell. Because the one girl, this might be a spoiler. The one girl, she wanted to pop her balloon until old boy started giving her all those compliments. But she was ready to pop. And so then she didn't pop, and her face, she just looked dejected. Like, oh, I can't pop on him now because he said all that good stuff about me. So, yes, it's definitely a match. You know what I'm saying? Like, her face. No, Daryl. No, Daryl. Jacqueline said, where does this show come on? And Daryl said, on Netflix. No, I don't watch the one on Netflix. They lost me at, this is our, they didn't call it trans, but this is our bisexual version or whatever it was. Where it was, they lost me with that. Like, nope, I'm not watching that no more. Nope. Plus, that's mostly white people anyway. Not that I got anything against white people, but I like the blackness of Arlette and BM's show on YouTube. So I don't know. I definitely don't watch the one on Netflix. Definitely do not. Any Diddy predictions? Yeah, but yeah, they dropped some of the charges. They dropped some of the charges. I'm predicting that he gonna be found not guilty now. He might be found guilty of, there's one I can't think of. He might be found guilty of one of the charges, which is a minor charge. Crossing state lines for prostitution or whatever. He might be found guilty of that. But other than that, I think that'll be about it. And I think I was seeing where that only carries up to like a 10-year sentence. But I think if he does find himself being found guilty of that, it'll probably be a time served type of thing. I think Diddy getting ready to go home. Jerica says, did you see the girl who had 2 guys left and she popped one guy balloon and the guy she wanted popped his balloon? Oh, that's happened a number of times. I always think that's funny. Daryl said, Diddy gonna be set free. Yeah, that's what I think. Sierra said he's not going to serve any more time. Yeah, I think he'll get time served if he's found guilty. James said, I said they haven't proved their case and you said they had. No, I never said that they had. I said that a number of the experts who I was watching were saying that they were doing a good job of proving their case. But you can be doing a good job until you're not. Like, I try to break it down like really simply. Like, okay, I say James broke into the store, stole the money, and killed the clerk. Got away in a yellow Corvette, right? Then I go to court, and I prove that James got a yellow Corvette. So that kind of proves that he might have had the getaway car. And I prove that James was in the store, and I show James with a whole lot of money that looked like it came from the register. I present witnesses to prove all of that stuff. If I'm looking at that from the outside, I'm like, oh, it's looking like they got something. I show you, running out the store. Oh, it looked like they got something. But I don't show you break in or kill nobody. I was waiting for the break-in. I was waiting for the theft. I was waiting for the murder. So they were proving their case until they weren't. I almost feel like I didn't actually say a word. They were proving their case until they weren't. So they were proving that he did the things that they said that he did. And they were proving that he flew people in. And they had testimony that he was ordering people to do some of these illegal things. So what the experts were saying was they seem to be proving their case. But then if it all falls apart at the end, what can you do? So I never said that they proved anything. I said that experts were saying that they were doing a good job of proving their case so far. But that was very early on into the case when I said that. Shelly.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, Shelly?
I'm all right. I'm super tired. But here, I got a take for you. You ready?
Oh, Lord. I don't know.
Okay, so Diddy, I don't know if he's going to get off or not, but with all of the sex trafficking that's going on in America, period, right, it's putting that out there. And for him to get away with what he did for so long, with the drugs and the whatever, because prostitution's illegal, right?
In many states, yes.
So, they arrested Johns, right? Like down there in McMicken and stuff. Remember that banner they had?
I don't remember the banner, but I know that they do arrest people from time to time of soliciting prostitution.
Oh, my God. I took a picture of it. I was driving around one day, and there was this ripped-up, like, junky old banner across McMicken talking about, we're watching you, Johns, or whatever. Okay, so he was, like, seeking prostitutes, and that's not legal. He was doing illegal drugs.
Well, hold on. I think what the argument is that he was seeking people, like exotic dancers, and then paying them for extra services.
Well, here's the question, right?
So I think kind of the argument could have been made that technically he wasn't flying in prostitutes. He was flying in people, and the service that he was paying them for was being an exotic dancer, and they just did more.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like Epstein. Epstein got away with doing stuff for how many years? And Diddy was doing it for how many years? You can't get away with nothing unless people in the government are letting you get away with it. So I think we're inching closer to getting to the government, the dirty cops, the dirty politicians. That's my take on it.
You
because
really?
The trafficking, that's all the government.
Just so I'm clear, you really believe that we're getting closer to that? You really think that you will see a day when they're just arresting dirty cops?
I'm saying people are going to start killing them. I mean, people are like, It's going to be basically, okay, Antifa, BLM, right, the immigrants, they're all rioting, right? They don't care. Antifa fights the feds every night in Portland. They out there fighting the feds. They don't care. The Amish have guns. The immigrants have guns. The hood has guns. Appalachia has guns. The only people that ain't got guns are the suburbs.
Well, they got guns too. The KKK got guns.
Yeah, they're pretty.
The white supremacists got guns.
But they're the ones that talk game, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, try that with my kid, try that with me. And then as soon as somebody shoots somebody, they go, oh my God, that's terrible. Why'd they do that? It's like, make up your mind. But like, I'll tell you what, there was this old white guy I met not too long ago at a neighbor's house in North College Hill. And his sister died. He goes, you know what? He was like 75. He's like, you know what people need to start doing? They need to start taking out the right people. He's like, they need to start taking out politicians. People think that way. I mean, don't you think like that's where we're getting? How come some people get away with stuff and then other people don't? Like, I got pulled over for expired tags, right? But an immigrant can drive around with no license? Come on.
Somehow you see an equivalency there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not.
Oh my God, did you see that the commissioners had a $205,000 fund for the emergency immigrant housing that they reappropriated to mortgage help?
I'm not sure where you're going with that. You're saying that to say what?
Well, remember that one we talked a while back about the immigrants, and I told you like they're like they have more privilege than any of us.
Oh, so you've moved on from your initial topic, and now we're bashing immigrants.
Because immigrants get away with shit. The immigrants are out here. They're not piss testing. They're not getting licenses. They're not paying. I mean, they're not. They have food trucks. We can't have a food truck. They got 8 people in a 2-bedroom apartment. We can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's illegal.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
If I'm a landlord and I rent to you, and I let you have like too many people in a bedroom, you got to go. No, Shelly. I can get in trouble.
No, Shelly. You could rent an apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment right now, and let 8 of your friends stay there as long as they want.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No.
You might not be able to put them on the leases all staying in a 1-bedroom, but you, Shelly, so you're telling me you can't have 8 people at your house?
No.
That's just not true. It's just not true. And you're telling me it's illegal for you to have a food truck?
If I don't have a permit, it is. They'll take my truck and impound it.
And who says that the people who have food trucks don't have permits?
Well, that's why they're not out in the streets in all these other cities, because it's illegal for them to be out there and they're afraid to get caught.
Yeah, you're just making up stuff.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, I don't think it's illegal to be a freak, and that's the point. That's another point to make, right? Like, was it Hunter Biden, hookers and crack? Like, who cares? You know, like, who cares? He ain't bothering me. I don't care. If Diddy wants to have orgies, I don't care.
And if Donald Trump wants to have sex with his daughter, okay.
Well, no, come on now.
Come on now, what?
That's a little, like,
what?
bombastic, don't you think?
No, He has insinuated on many occasions that he would love to have sex with his daughter.
He never said sex. That's the difference between black people and white people right there. Because white girls, they have dads that are like, oh, you're so pretty. Hey, you should date my daughter. She's so pretty. She's a nice girl.
No. He has talked about having sex with his daughter.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have a link?
Yeah.
You have a link.
And even when she was much younger and they asked him about his daughter and, you know, her looks, and he talked about her breasts and all that kind of, yes.
Okay, well, get this. Well, guess what? She's grown, and she's never said anything about it. But what we should care about is last week or two, there was a girl raped at the lighthouse, right? She was raped at the lighthouse group home by a boy. And then the mom called in. The daughter called the mom. The mom called in 911 because I listen to the scanner. Yes, I do. And the scanner tells the cop, you know, that answers the call, the lighthouse told the mom that parents have to report rapes. That's not true. That's not true. And the cop even said that's not true. That's what we need to be worried about. Not Donald Trump and his grown-ass daughter. Who cares? I'm saying, like, if she's not saying it, it's not our problem to be worried about. But when you got a girl that's
we shouldn't worry about it if it's Trump. You're right.
No, nothing is Trump. I don't care. I'm saying we got this.
You really did seem to care that it was Trump. You was okay. You started mentioning celebrities and perverts, but then when I said Trump, you stopped. When I said, so then why are you worried about Diddy or Epstein? He's dead.
No, because I want the government people to go down. I hate the government. I'm more worried about the girl that got raped at the lighthouse.
Did you know that Trump is a part of the government?
Oh, no, he hates the government, too. Guess who the girl at the lighthouse was raped? Hold on. Guess who's responsible for her?
Shelley, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm going to tell you a secret. Only a few people know this, okay?
Oh, my God.
No, only a few people know this. Donald Trump is the president.
Right.
Right.
Let him handle the globe.
So how do you say you want to see the politicians go down except Trump because he don't like the government when he's the freaking president?
Yes. DeWine is he has an entire school district in Haiti. Not one school, an entire school district. How can you be a governor when you got a whole school district in Haiti?
How can you hold on? Okay, yeah, you might have a point there. How can you be the president when you bragged about grabbing women by the vagina?
If the girls want their pussy grabbed, who cares?
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm misunderstanding then the point. So
if Kathy wanted to get her freak on, who cares?
So if people want it, then. And who said that they wanted it? But
we know there's hoes out there. You know that some of those girls, they were throwing their pussy at Donald Trump. Come on.
And wasn't some of them probably throwing it at Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, some of them probably were, but not the little girls.
And how do you know all them girls that he grabbed them by the vagina was throwing at him?
He said
you don't even have to ask him.
Oh, my God. What about the girl at the lighthouse who was raped?
No. Let's finish the Donald Trump conversation. What about the fact that he said you don't even have to ask him? That is basically rape.
You know that.
What about the woman who he was convicted of sexually assaulting?
She wishes he sexually assaulted her.
Oh, so it's okay that he did it, but it's wrong when anybody else does it.
But it's okay that Diddy did it.
But no, you made that point. And I'm not disagreeing with you, but somehow you draw the line at Donald Trump. I don't understand why.
No, I think Diddy was wrong. I think he took advantage of it. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should.
And you don't think that Donald Trump was wrong for sexually assaulting a lady in a department store?
Oh my God. I don't care about that shit that happened years ago. I'm talking about the world that we live in.
Then why do you care about? You talked about Jeffrey Epstein. That happened years ago. Why do you care about that? Why are you drawing the line at Donald Trump?
Because here's why. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, because Epstein, first of all, the first time he got caught was in New Albany, Ohio, at Les Wexner's house, right? At New Albany, Ohio.
I don't know that to be true.
Yes, I do. He was arrested in 1992.
Shelley, you're not listening. You're so on the defense because you think I'm saying something negative about Trump that you're not actually listening to what I'm saying. You really do care.
Example besides Trump. I'm not on Trump's nuts like that.
But you really are, and you're proving it. But what I said was, Shelley, what I said was, I don't know that to be true. I don't know, and really, you don't know if that's the first time Jeffrey Epstein just got caught because that's the first time that there was a paper trail.
Exactly.
Right, so you don't know that to be true, that's the first time he got caught.
Here's the thing. Okay, first of all, Pam Bondi's the AG. She was the AG in Florida when he was helping around the kids down there. Okay, those are wards of the state. 60 to 80% of the kids in America that are trafficked are wards of the state.
Wait, but Shelley, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's not forget what you're supposed to be showing me. You're showing me why you draw the line at everybody sexually assaulting someone is wrong except for Donald Trump. So hopefully this ends up with you explaining why it's okay for Donald Trump to sexually assault people.
Why do you make everything about Trump?
Because that's where you seem to draw the line.
I didn't say nothing about Trump.
Exactly. You said something about everybody else sexually assaulting people, but you ignored Trump. And then when I brought Trump up, you said, well, that's different. That's okay. They wanted it. It's okay when he did it. His daughter's grown, so it doesn't matter. When you're talking about everybody else, it really matters. When we talk about Trump, you've got nothing but excuses.
Let me give you an example. Right now,
are you giving me an example of why it's okay for Trump to sexually assault people?
You're not going to let me speak. You're not going to let me finish my sentence.
Hold on. As long as we're talking about the same thing, you're supposed to be talking about why it's okay for Trump to sexually assault people. Go.
I'm not. If he did it, then yes, something should happen, right? Oh my God. I'm going to give you an example, okay? Because it's a father-daughter situation. Right now, there's a mega church in New Albany which donates to all the Republican politicians in Ohio. Okay, it's a multi-million-dollar church. Their grown son is in jail right now with 32 counts of raping children. One of those children was his sister. Her parents, who own the mega church in New Albany, Ohio, knew that their son was raping their daughter, right? The daughter obviously told people when she was a kid, but it's Ohio, and children don't have rights in Ohio. As an adult, she went to the government, went to the police, and she got her brother arrested. Ivanka Trump could do that if she wanted to.
Okay, but we're not talking about hold on. We're not talking about Ivanka Trump. We're talking about the lady who he sexually assaulted in the department store. What should happen to him?
Grew up, oh my God.
What should happen to him?
I don't. It would be up to Ivanka, not him.
No. Why would it be up to Ivanka what happens to Donald Trump for sexually assaulting that lady in the department store? Why would Ivanka be the one who makes that decision?
Because just like Cassie made the decision, she didn't have to tell him, did he?
No. Donald Trump sexually assaulted a lady in a department store. E. Jean Carroll, I believe, was her name.
I don't believe her.
He was found liable. So a court said he did it. So what should happen to him?
Oh, and our courts are so just, aren't they? Like, you really
so
believe
what should happen? What should happen to him?
If you believe in the judicial system, then it was already tried.
And he was found liable. What should happen?
Everyone. You know how many people in America have a record?
Shelley, what should happen?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
You think Ivanka should decide?
I don't know. But I want to go back to the girl that was raped. Like, that's what I'm getting at. Like, the whole Diddy thing with the trafficking and the children and blah, blah, blah. That's the problem. We have children in this country that don't have protection, and they're supposed to. And the people that are supposed to protect them are the county. Like, the commissioners are responsible for that girl being raped. There's laws right now in the books that is supposed to be reported. If the Lighthouse is not reporting that rape, how many other rapes are they not reporting? You know what I'm saying? So that means there's people, there's a chain of command that are all responsible for it. And that's where I connect the dots with the whole Diddy thing and the Epstein thing, because our children are not safe, Emanuel.
All right. And if Donald Trump admits to groping multiple women and young girls, then who's supposed to protect them?
Where are those girls at?
I don't know where they are. He grabbed them by the vagina, and they're probably running and hiding somewhere. Who's gonna cry for them? Not you.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. You don't seem to care.
I don't care about Diddy either.
But why are you talking about him then?
Because that's what you were talking. I was just saying, like, the reason if he gets off, it's because they wanted to it was to expose the bullshit. Because everyone's all worried about the Epstein list, right? Somebody is supplying the children, right? Who is supplying these children?
As Donald Trump, he was with Epstein.
Oh, my God.
There's photos and video of them together.
Okay, so if you hang out with a drug dealer, are you dealing drugs? If you hang out with
Hold
the
on.
hoe, you
Wait.
don't know?
If I hang out with a drug dealer on the corner while he's selling drugs, then one could infer that I might be selling drugs with him. And if I talk about how good the drugs is that the drug dealer is selling, then one might infer that I have something to do with it. Donald Trump is on video at Epstein parties with young girls and talking about how him and Epstein have the same taste in girls.
They might have thought the same people were attractive, but here's the thing. Guess who's on his list, though? Guess who was in Epstein's little black book?
Donald Trump.
RFK.
Donald Trump.
RFK was. And so
All right,
was the mayor of
RFK
Chicago.
and Donald Trump.
Actually, Donald Trump is not in the little black book. But
How do you
RFK
know?
Because I read the book.
You ain't seen the little black book. As a matter of
Yes, I
fact, your
have.
boy Elon Musk even told you that the reason that they're not releasing all the information is because Donald Trump is in the files.
He's not. He might be a file somewhere, but he's not in the little black book.
You saw the little black book.
Yeah, I got it. It's on the computer.
How-
His little black book's been
How
public
many
forever.
names are in it?
Oh, a couple hundred. He's got like a lot of people from like England are in there. The mayor of Chicago is in there. Mostly Jews, really.
Jews.
Yeah, a lot of Jews.
And Donald Trump.
Donald Trump's not in the little black book.
But Donald Trump was at the parties where young girls were being passed around, and he talked about how he has the same taste as Jeffrey Epstein. Correct?
I mean, I guess. Okay, but guess
No,
still,
not I
white
guess.
parties too.
Did he say it?
I don't know. I've heard
Oh.
that he did, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I heard it, I'd tell you, but I didn't hear it. I heard the grab him by the pussy thing, but how's that any different than I was at the party, but I wasn't at the after party?
I don't know how it's different. You tell me how it's different. You seem to have an excuse for why it's okay for Donald Trump to have sex with young girls with Jeffrey Epstein, but you have a problem with Jeffrey Epstein having sex with young girls. Tell me where's the difference?
Who supplied the girls? Who supplied the girls is what I want to know.
Jeffrey Epstein to Donald
Where
Trump.
did you get the girls from?
Ghislaine Maxwell supplied them.
And where'd she get them from?
Wherever.
The state. 60 to 80% of the kids that are
But
trapped.
somehow it's okay that Donald Trump participated.
No, it's not. But if the government.
So then what should happen to Donald Trump?
Let me give you an example.
So what? No, hold on.
Before
Before you give me the example, just tell me what should happen to Donald Trump for his participation.
I don't. If he participated in it, then hang him. But let me give you an example, right? Okay. Let's say, let's use Bieber and Diddy, right? Let's say Diddy had sex with Justin Bieber. Let's just say. I don't know if he did or not, but let's say he raped him. Everybody wants to blame the mom, right? Oh, the mom shouldn't have this, and the mom shouldn't have done that. Well, if we're going to focus on the mom and blame the mom, then that means we're going to let Diddy off the hook for raping Bieber. I'm not saying he did. I'm just using it as an example.
Right, as an example.
We can't let him off the hook because we're going to blame the mom for something he did.
Right.
I'm just using that just because.
No. I get it. That's just an example. It's a pretty good example. It's almost like you trying to let Donald Trump off the hook for grabbing young girls by the vagina because you say they wanted it.
No, but if the mom gives the daughter to Trump and we blame the mom, we're letting Trump off the hook.
Right,
That's
so
my
let's
problem.
not let Trump off the hook. He admitted
No,
to
but-
grabbing women without their permission by the vagina. What should happen to him?
What should happen to Diddy then? Because
No. But we're talking about. See, why do I answer your questions with a flat out answer? But when I ask you my questions, and you always want to deflect. Donald Trump
I don't
admitted.
know. I don't even know what should happen to Diddy though. That's the thing.
Donald
I don't
Trump
know.
admitted that he, without their permission, grabs women by the vagina. He admitted it. What should happen to him?
I don't know. I'm not like a lawyer or whatever. I'm not a prosecutor. I don't know. What do you think should happen to him? I mean,
Well, do me a favor. When you figure out what should happen to him, let me know.
all right. By the way, when's your birthday?
Why?
Because you said you were on the cusp.
Yes.
Is it August 23rd?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, have a good day. And pray for that girl that got raped, though. You know what I'm saying?
Pray for all those girls that Donald Trump sexually
I
assaulted.
care about Cincinnati. You should know that by now. I bleed Cincinnati.
So
I'm
it's
sixth
okay.
generation
So it's okay
Cincinnati.
that Donald Trump did it because he didn't do it in Cincinnati.
I don't care about okay, fine. So let's just forget about the girls that are getting raped in Cincinnati. You know, there's like 20 missing girls right now from Cincinnati.
Maybe we should check Donald Trump's house. Now y'all know Donald Trump did what he did. The fact that I didn't actually expect it to happen, but I said, she's talking about all of these people who've sexually assaulted people. Let me see how she responds to Trump. And then it was like, oh no, but that's different. Like what? I don't understand these people's allegiance to Donald Trump. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Well, Jeffrey Epstein did it. Donald Trump was with Jeffrey Epstein. They got pictures and video. Well, that's different. How? How? Because it's Trump. I don't understand their allegiance to this guy. Don't trust the government. Donald Trump is the president. Well, that's different. How? How? I don't trust politicians. You know, Donald Trump's a politician. Well, that's different. How? How? And it's crazy because the stuff that they talk about, like when she talk about immigrants, next time I'm going to talk about how Donald Trump hires immigrants, illegal immigrants. But that's different. Guaranteed. Somehow it'll be different because Donald Trump hired them. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. So when I realized that that's who you are, yeah, I'm going to keep bringing up Donald Trump. I'm going to keep bringing him up. And I don't care that much about Donald Trump. Like, for real, y'all know, I don't talk that much about Donald Trump. I mean, I realize he's a horrible, horrible, horrible human being. I'm just aware of that. But I don't, just sit around and talk about him. But when you call in saying all this stuff, that also applies to Donald Trump. Now, I'll tell you where she could have got me. If when I first brought up Donald Trump sexually assaulted that lady, if she'd have said, and he deserves to be held accountable for that, then I'd have been like, okay. You can't argue with that. She's consistent. It's the inconsistency. It's the inconsistency that bothers me more than anything else. All right, y'all. I said I was staying till 5. Y'all done kept me till 6. I got to get ready to get out of here. Trying to think, do I have anything else that I need to discuss? Pamela says, did anyone see the video clip of U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett explaining why Melania should be picked up by ICE? I did not see it. I'll look for it. CK says, lie detector test determines that was a lie. You do talk about Donald Trump on a regular. When last time I talked about Donald Trump? Yeah, man, when was the last time I talked about Donald Trump? I didn't even really talk about I don't even think I talked about him bombing Iran. So when's the last time I talked about Donald Trump? I don't talk about that dude. I mean, if he's in the news, I talk about him. And if, Trump supporters are being unreasonable and illogical and inconsistent, I talk about him. Other than that, I don't just, every day come on, what's new with Trump? I don't do that. Sierra says, any updates from Nate versus Melba Marsh? Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. Walter says, you can, I'm sure he meant torture, Trump supporters, and they still wouldn't denounce him. Pamela says, Nate requested the video from the courtroom and they sent him a letter saying the video recorder is broke in her courtroom for that day. I'm laughing because who didn't know that sometimes when you catch people lying, they'll do whatever to cover up the lie. I'm going to call him because y'all know I ain't really been plugged in. I'm going to call him and see. I'm sorry, Pamela, I'm not disbelieving you. He probably called in and said that. But that should be a hint for you that he's probably telling the truth. That video would have probably proven everything that he said. He said she didn't read it. She said she did read it, even though she was still saying that it said something that it didn't actually say. Lincoln said that she called him while she was in her chambers, definitely not in the courtroom. He said the call was made while they were in the courtroom. The video would have proven what he was saying was true. So guess what happens? Ain't no recording. It was broke that day. And just interesting stuff happens. And people just, I bet there's somebody out there who they really don't like Nate and they really support Lincoln and Judge Marsh and, dirty politicians and judges and barely literate talk show hosts. And they like, what can you do if the recording wasn't working? It just wasn't working. Everything got to be a cover up. Like, maybe it is. Maybe it is a cover up. Oh, and when you threaten people, because I caught the threat. But Nate, go ahead and file the complaint if you want to. But, if they determine that your filing is frivolous, there's punishment there. Y'all know that what that was if you file a complaint on me, we gonna get you. Y'all know that was what she was saying, right? Oh, you can file a complaint if you want to. But if you file a complaint on me, we gonna get you. What is my opinion on Ryan James? Who is Ryan James? Tell me who Ryan James is. Twin.
What's up, player?
Hey, how you doing, player?
I can't call it, man. What you talking about today, man? I know I was messing with you earlier about your shirt. Seemed like you went in war with that shirt, man.
I don't even know what that means, but okay.
Yeah, man. You know you got your collar and everything, like you've been chewing on it or something. It's hanging a little bit.
Okay.
Not this collar mess with you,
Just
man.
like that Buick that you drive.
You silly, man. Man, what you been doing, man? Tanning or something, man? Like you been tanning or something, man. You stay out that sun. It's too hotty, man.
I have been in the sun.
Yeah, like you got black.
Okay. I think that would be a positive thing.
Yeah, but you claim that day that you ain't been in no sun. That it's the podcast viewing or something. I don't know. You said.
Well, no, I said, I went to Cedar Point and I was out in the sun and ain't no shade. So I was just walking around out in the sun for a whole day. And yesterday I was outside in the sun for a number of hours to the point that I kind of felt a little sick. So, yeah, I was in the sun.
Hey, man, you remind me yesterday, I watched you a little bit about you was
Yesterday?
chasing that waltz or whatever. Day before, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, the waltz. It remind me, did you see Inside Edition? I don't know if you watch it or not, like 2 weeks ago, when dude was wondering why them termites got in his house.
I don't typically watch Inside Edition.
Oh, man, I seen that, man. And he found how they got in his house. They kept drilling and fighting their way through there. And next thing I know, the man, he swarming them, swapping at them and all that. And the man tried to take a sip, man. They all in his cup. I'm like, man, what the hell?
I'm only slightly confused. You saying that the termites had a drill?
I mean, they was drilled through his house. I'm just saying, nibbled through the house and biting through the wood. He found out how they got in. I'm like, man, they've been chomping down for days.
Oh.
I went through there and came through the kitchen sink, pipes and everywhere, man.
Oh.
And that's what it reminded me of you when you talking about them waltz and all that. Like, that's what dude. He was fighting them damn termites.
Yeah, I don't trust the waltz.
Oh, no. I was when I was in Mississippi and my nephew busted his head and went in the hospital. I'm like, hey, man, you remember that Martin had that scene when, who was that, one of them fighters, when he was on the Martin show and his eye was swollen? You remember that?
What?
He went against Martin Lawrence, his show.
All right, and what happened?
Remember, he was going against, what was that, Marvelous Hagler, one of them? One of them was in the ring with him, Tommy Hearns, I believe.
Yes.
And so this Waltz had, this little white boy was in the hospital, and I'm like, hey, what the hell wrong with his eye? And, man, it was like that, and lady was like, he got stung by a waltz. Oh, whoa.
The waltz got him.
Yeah, man. Put an iPod on him or something.
Hold on. Now you know what's vexing me. Do me one favor.
What's up, man?
Say wasp.
What I said?
Waltz. You said waltz, like the dance. The waltz. Wasp. No, for real, say it for me. Wasp.
Wasp, man.
That's better.
Come on, man. Quit trying to correct me. Don't nobody correct you.
Twin.
Correct that damn shirt.
First, people do correct me. And you know that stuff like that vex me, man.
Man, let it go, man.
Doing stuff like that.
Why you do that, man? Y'all caught on to you the other day when you tell me, you like to get on people's nerves and all that. And I'm like, man, you do aggravate people sometimes. You Livingston brothers.
See, there you go again. You know when you say stuff like that, it's gonna bother me. You know the name is
right, man.
You
let
know the name is Livingston, but you keep saying Levinson.
Livingston, whatever it's called.
But they're not the same. Harvey Livingston is a Jewish attorney. Livingston is me.
Livingston, whatever your name, man. It's all the same. Flares mess up, man. It's all right, though. Livingston, all right? I got to correct you, man. You Livingston.
Okay.
What's else on the agenda, man?
Talked a little bit.
I forgot what you call
hold on. You asked me. I talked a little bit about Ohio Ed choice.
The bed choice.
Ed. Ed
Oh,
choice.
ed choice.
Yes.
So about school choice or something you want to make?
Yes.
Oh,
A judge has ruled it unconstitutional in Ohio.
so she's saying you can't go to school that you chose to go
No,
to or something?
you can go, but you can't
Oh.
use public money to go.
But y'all always don't they always screaming about education and all that?
Yeah, but
So
you can
education
still you
gotta
can
be
go
the
to
key,
public
right?
school and get an education.
Huh?
You can go to public school and get a good education.
Yeah, but don't they scream about we want our kids to have a good education, so you can choose whatever you want. Use that public money or whatever. However they do
You
it.
can. But what I'm saying, you can go to a public school and get a good education. So you
Yeah.
don't have to take the taxpayer money and then take it to
Oh,
a private
okay,
school.
okay. I understand now.
Yeah.
I understand. Oh, okay. Okay. What else, Emmanuel? 'Cause I don't really got now. I've missed the show. I had nodded off and everything.
What else
thought
did
you
I
was
talk
gone.
about? So I talked about Ed choice. What else? It was something else. I
Hey,
talked
man,
about.
yeah, I caught on. Was it, hold on now. Let me understand this right, E-Man.
Okay.
So your brother, hold on, man. I'm confused. So your brother was it was court over with when he went up there with Melba Marsh? Or how that was? He just wanted to holler at her about, signing this petition and bringing up charges against Evan Norton. How did that work?
Now, here's my understanding of it, and I haven't, done my research on it. But my understanding of it is, take Nate out of it, all right?
Okay.
Say you're a police officer, right?
Okay.
And you want to get a warrant to, I don't know, search somebody's house.
Right.
What you do is you go to the court and you talk to the judge on duty when you get there. And the judge on duty comes and they hold a hearing real quick. And the judge says, all right, what evidence, what reasonable suspicion or probable cause do you have for me to sign this warrant?
Sign on that
and they
warrant.
say,
Right.
we synced him with our own eyes. And the judge says, okay, that's enough for me. And they sign the warrant and they go about their business.
Yeah.
They don't do it while
Right.
court is in session. They don't just bust in the middle of court and say, oh, no, don't stop everything. I need a warrant. They go and they talk to the duty judge. Well,
Yeah, they do it all the time.
Right. So they're not the only ones who have the ability to do that. Apparently, allegedly, in Ohio, if you wanted to sign out a warrant for someone, you can do the exact same thing. You go down to the courthouse, you go and you speak to the duty judge, and you say, I have probable cause or reasonable suspicion, or whichever one it is that you have to say, that this person committed a crime. The judge is supposed to look at it and say, all right, and issue a warrant, or say, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I'm going to refer it to the prosecutor.
Is that like filling out an affidavit, though?
Sure,
Something
yes.
like that?
Yes.
So she see the motion of the affidavit, and it's up to her to, if she want to sign off on a warrant and say, okay, this probable cause to arrest that person, something like that, right?
Or
If she feels.
Or option number 2 is she says, I don't see probable cause, so
Yeah.
I'm going to refer it to the prosecutor. My understanding is that's the only 2 options that the judge has. The judge doesn't look at it and say, no, and send you on your way. The judge either says, I see it and I'm issuing the warrant, or I don't see it, so I'm going to refer it to the prosecutor.
Hey, man, to be honest, man, between what your brother just did and the way the timeline frame and how it went about with Mika and that Evan Nolan, Evan Nolan, whatever, yeah, it's something suspicious about that, man.
Man, I don't know.
It seemed like you
I
scratch
don't
my
know.
back, I'll scratch your back. I'm going to put you on, just let me get that seat. We go take care of Howard Park type situation. Don't you seem like it's something fishy with that, the way it went along? Cause let me see it like this.
Oh.
So with that Emanuel, say, I don't know how they do it. I guess they do it. The councilman, Oh, there's about 9 of them, right? 9 or 12 of them down there sit.
Sure. Let's say 12.
Okay, okay. The guy, the black brother that left went to Washington. If he got the job or not. So does that mean that if since he left, he got to be replaced with a black guy,
No,
or you can replace anybody?
anybody.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how the
Yeah.
operation worked like that. I thought they like keep it like that. I don't.
Yeah, no,
you
no,
know, I
no.
don't know.
Now, a lot of us felt like it would have been reasonable and proper to replace the black guy with a black guy because
That's what I
for
thought.
the first time in history, blacks were the majority on city council. So it would have seemed to a lot of us that you should have kept that black majority instead of giving away the historic black majority. But
'Cause, you know,
there's
yeah.
no rule that says that she had to do that. She could pick pretty much whoever she wanted.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering that how that operates like that. I don't too much know about that stuff.
And by the way, there's only 9 council persons.
I know it's something like 9, 12, one of them,
Yeah.
something like that. I was just wondering, since it's 9 and all that, and you got, Cincinnati ain't big, but don't you think, though, Emmanuel, to be honest, they deal with Hamilton County, right? The whole Hamilton County. Don't
Well,
you
no,
think
they just
like,
deal with the city of Cincinnati.
they don't deal with the whole Hamilton County?
No, that's county commissioners deal with all of Hamilton County.
Oh, I didn't know that. So they just deal with the city of Cincinnati. But don't
Right.
you think, since the city of Cincinnati, don't you think they should, like all them councilmen should, hear people different areas and all? Like, hey, I got the West Side area. That other councilman deal with that area, and don't you think it should be like that? They hear
Well,
people's voice.
Well, there was a lot of people who were going for I forget what it was called, districts or something of that nature. But that's just not the way we operate here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, 'cause in Chicago we got it like that.
You're right.
Like
Right.
9th Ward, 15th Ward, that district aldermen and all. And I thought since Cincinnati, a little smaller, that okay, I'm gonna get Mika that, and I'm gonna get, Johnson that, and Smith whoever that did zone or whatever.
Yeah, no, we do at
So,
large. We do at large. So yeah, it is different. But again, your idea and the way that some other cities do it has been proposed, but for whatever reason, the city of Cincinnati is not necessarily into doing that.
so that's why they come up with people like Sandra Jones in that community, and such in that West End community, right?
Well, yeah, those are community councils. They're not necessarily attached to the city of Cincinnati City Council. So those are community councils.
Oh, okay. I'm learning a little bit. It was just concerning on my mind. I always wanted to ask you, since you and your brother know about Cincinnati or
I
whatever.
know a little bit.
Well, you born and raised. You know about Cincinnati.
I
You
said I
ever
know a
thought
little bit.
about running for council?
No.
You
Well, I
and
mean,
your brother?
no, Nate did actually run. I
Okay.
don't remember. I think he came in like 11th place or 10th place, something like that. He got close, but he didn't get on. I thought about running only in the sense of literally just thinking about it and thinking about the fact that there's no way that I would win.
Did you go out for votes or try?
No. I literally just
Okay.
thought about it. Like
Oh,
sitting
okay.
there one day,
Thought
like,
about
what
it.
would happen
Okay.
if I ran for city council? I would be out at one of these community forums and somebody would ask me something stupid, and I would say, yeah, that's kind of a dumbass question, but I'll answer it anyway. And then, people just would not like me. And so, to some degree,
I
it's
can
a
understand. You probably
popularity
go out for, like,
contest,
Trump.
and I've never been one that could win a popularity contest.
Well, you think you'll crash out or something?
No, I would just be honest, and people don't like my brand of honesty.
Oh, okay. I understand, Cliff. I think that's all I got. I think. What you think about this last Diddy trial or whatever that's going on?
I think he's gonna be found. He may be found guilty on one charge, and that's I'm calling it interstate prostitution charge. He may be found guilty on that. He'll be found not guilty because they dropped some of the charges. He'll be found not guilty on everything else.
Interstate charges on what?
Huh?
Interstate charges on who?
Prostitution. Like he's charged with, moving people across state lines for the purposes of prostitution.
But how many people was involved with it?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
I'm saying it's only you saying moving across state lines and prostitution. How many people was involved?
I'm not sure. But the point is,
The only person I see is what? Probably Cassie.
No. The point is, I can't. It's technically illegal for me to call one of your hoes in Chicago. Back when you was dealing hoes. Call one of your hoes in Chicago, and
What you mean is illegal?
It's illegal for me to call one of your hoes in Chicago, Illinois, and have her come to Ohio to for the purposes of prostitution. That's against the law.
On their own will or whatever, ain't nothing against the law.
No, it is. That's what I'm saying. Yes, she's a prostitute. Yes, she's doing it, voluntarily for the money. That is against the law. It's not legal for me to fly her, drive her, transport her across state lines for the purposes of prostitution. That's not legal. It's a federal crime.
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so I think he might be found guilty of that. I don't think he'll be found guilty of anything else. And I think even if he is found guilty of that,
that's about what, 8 to 10 years, probably.
Yeah, right. But I don't think that he'll get that. I think they'll give him time served, and he'll come home, Beijing his hair up, and try to rehabilitate his image.
Yeah. All right, man. I think that's all. Hey, Shelly called today.
She did.
Oh, damn, I missed her. I know she called the other day, and I forgot what it was, but you was wrong about it. I know that. I can't think of it right off rip.
What?
But I said, no, you was wrong.
I'm fairly certain I was right.
No, you was wrong about it.
I'm pretty sure I was right.
It was. I probably got to go back and stuff. You got to do it, but I probably have to go listen. I'm like, man, he don't know what he's talking about.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Okay, if you say so. Nice chopping it up with you, man. Be safe, man. Weather like it calmed down a little bit.
All right.
About the thunderstorm.
The AC working in your brewery?
I don't have that brewery no more. It's messed up. Yeah, so I got to get me another car and everything.
So what you driving now?
I ain't driving nothing now.
So how you getting to work?
I don't stay too far from work.
So you walk?
Sometimes I want to.
When you don't want to, how you get to work?
Catch the Metro, what's they call it? Metro now. Pull up at my house and drop me off if I want to catch it.
Oh. Now, hold on. Are you using the new Metro service, or is your house just on the bus line and a bus stop happen to be right in front of your house?
It's a bus line and a Metro now.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a bus line go down Calvert, then it's Metro go to different zones and everything.
Right.
So, but I've been looking for a slider and everything.
A slider?
I was gonna go get me a
slider. That's like a, just like a little hoopty or something.
Yeah, one of those. I was gonna go, because I don't want no car, no hell with that.
I understand that.
Cash out, because, man, them interests, woo.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
I don't want that and everything, but, I heard it for a minute, the Buick or whatever, but, things happen.
Things happen.
Yeah.
What happened to the brewery?
The engine went out.
Oh. You wasn't changing the oil?
Yeah, I did all that, but it was I bought it with high mileage and all that. Because I got it from an auction.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it from an auction.
Okay. Yeah, I got my car from an auction too.
Yeah. Yep. So I probably gonna give me a slider this week. There ain't no tell. I ain't pressed or whatever. It is what it is.
All right.
I'm gonna get around though.
All right.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna holler at you, man. Gotta, crash out today.
All right. Well, I hope you find something soon with low mileage and it don't cost you too much. That's nice.
Right. You're right. All right, man.
All right. All right. That was Twin. Pleasant conversation. You can't beat that. You can't beat a pleasant conversation. All right. Anybody got anything else? I think I'm about to get out of here. Hold on. Somebody asked me, a classy one. Well, let me see if I can go all the way back to it, if it's still there. Why are you so gung-ho on what happened behind closed doors with Trump? Because the person was making the point that these things, that all these sexual crimes that happened behind closed doors were horrible, and that's somehow proof that people don't care about these things, and basically we should. And so if you're making that statement and you support Trump, who did all of those things behind closed doors, it shows a level of inconsistency. That means you don't really care about what you're talking about. It's a sign to me that you're using that as a pretense for something else. Like if you care about people being raped, it wouldn't matter who did the raping. So if you're like, people shouldn't rape people, like, okay, I agree with you. But what about this person? They were wrong. What about that person? They were wrong. What about that person? They were wrong. It would be just consistent. Nobody should do it. But then if I can say, well, what about this person? Well, that's different. That shows you're not really concerned about people being raped. You got some ulterior motive that you're really talking about, which, I kind of sensed that was the case. Her concern wasn't really about protecting the victims of. She wanted to paint certain people in a certain light for some other ulterior motive. So it's not that I'm just sitting back thinking about what Trump did behind closed doors. But, I'm going to do my best to not let you get no nonsense like that off on me without pointing out in some way, shape, or form your inconsistency and your hypocrisy, thus letting you know that I know that that's not what you're actually talking about. That's why. I don't mind answering questions. All right. Let's see. All hearts and minds are clear? All hearts and minds are clear? All right. If so, I'm about to get out of here. I appreciate all of y'all hanging out with me, having these conversations and all your feedback. I always appreciate it. As always, I'm going to ask you to, well, maybe not as always. No, I'm not behind no viewers. Unsophisticated coin heck. I'm not buying. On Twitch, they want me to buy viewers. It's not happening. Stay cool if you can. And be the reason that somebody smiles this evening. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.